Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Wells from Nutritional Physical Therapy. I'm here in St. Augustine Beach. Just had a beautiful rainstorm and now it's finally cooled off. Anyhow, just wanted to give you guys an update on a new research article that I read about. This one is titled Low Carbohydrate, High Fat Diets and Their Associated Cardiovascular Risks. It's published by Ayatin et al. In the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. It's a mouthful. About 1,500 patients. This was a prospective cohort study. They used the pool of data was from the Biobank out of the UK. And these individuals were not on statins, and what they were looking at were something called MACEs, or major adverse cardiac events, so MIs, CVAs, that sort of thing. Effectively, the way they defined low carb in this was less than 100 grams of carbohydrates per day. They also did a subgroup analysis with very low carb population, and that was individuals less than 50 grams of carbohydrates. So interestingly, what they found, kind of no surprise, is that the LDLs were up significantly compared to people that were not on the low carb diet, from 3.6 up to 3.8. APOB, also a marker of inflammation and cardiovascular heart disease risk, was also elevated from 1.04 to 1.10. Now, when they looked at the risk factor of developing a MACE, that cardiac event, it was increased 118%. So the authors went a step further and said, okay, let's get rid of those patients that have diabetes. We'll do a subgroup analysis just to see if maybe there was an influence of diabetics or diabetic conditions on the overall outcomes. Well, they still found a 101% increase. So they further analyzed, well, let's see how strong the effect is if it's just the low carb diet or the very low carb diet is more dangerous. And what they found was that the low carb diet, there was still a 50% increase in MACEs, but when they looked at the very low carbohydrate diet, it was a 105% increase. So effectively, these authors found that the lower the carbohydrate diet, the higher the risk of major cardiac events. And in some way, this makes sense because the LDL was elevated, APOB was elevated, and those usually go up when there's lacking fiber. When people cut carbohydrates out, they typically target your fruits and vegetables. We already know that most Americans aren't eating high amounts of fruits and vegetables in the first place, right? The most common vegetable is usually a potato. It's usually fried, and fruits are usually consumed as fruit juices. So usually when they go, quote, low carb, that means they're effectively getting no fruits, no vegetables, which means no fiber and very little phytochemicals to help with lowering lipids and with reducing inflammation. So it's kind of no surprise. Unfortunately, what I'd love to see is really the quality of the diet, because we know that low carb diets can be a very high quality, high fiber. So that's one big drawback of the study. So I'd love to see like a further analysis of like quality of that low carb diet versus these MACEs, but more to come. Hopefully you like this article and you like more content like this. Check out our courses at NutritionalPhysicalTherapy.com. If you have signed up, great. Share it with a friend, share it with a PT. Also, like and comment below. Love to hear your thoughts and arguments on low carb diet.